Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Your name?
My name is Bhargav.
Hi Bhargav. So can I have your resume?
Sure.
Bhargav, introduce yourself.
Uh, Myself Bhargav, and I am from the background of computer science and engineering. I have just completed my bachelor's in the year of 2024 in the month of June, and I am currently pursuing a course called .NET Full Stack Development in the institute called Magneq Software Solutions.
Okay. So what are your technical skills?
My technical skills are I have worked on C Sharp, JavaScript, and React and MS SQL Server.
Okay, fine. So how much rate yourself in C Sharp?
Sorry,
In C Sharp, how much rate yourself?
I can rate myself as 9 out of 10.
Okay, fine, it's great. So what are the futures of .NET?
There are several features of .NET like .NET framework, CLR, OOPS concept. That all comes under the .NET futures. And if we go briefly, first come to CLR. CLR stands for Common Language Runtime. It consists of various features like garbage collector, CTS, CLS, and all. What is this? CLR is like core of the .NET. It will change the the code we have written in language into machine learning code so that it can be understandable by the machine and it will give the proper output. And .NET framework, it is a .NET framework is a standard which is provided by the Microsoft in order to develop Microsoft applications like web applications, console applications, standalone applications, desktop applications like that. And in .NET we can write the code in various languages, for example C Sharp, F Sharp, like that. And it will support various technologies like ASP.NET, ADO.NET, MVC, like that.
Okay. So what are the benefits of the .NET framework?
.NET framework benefits. Okay, and it will be rectifying the errors very easily, and it is fast. It is easy to write code in .NET framework, and it will support various languages. For example, if you want to write the code in C Sharp, it will support C Sharp and F Sharp, like that. That are the benefits of .NET framework.
So what is CTS?
CTS stands for Common Type System, and it was deployed into the .NET by Microsoft. So the data type which is to be inserted in the .NET must follow this set of guidelines provided by the Microsoft by CTS.
Okay, what is the difference between boxing and unboxing?
Okay, boxing and unboxing are conversions. Like if we are doing the value type into reference type, and that means we are converting the value type into reference type, then it is called as boxing. And if you are converting the reference type into value type, then it is called as unboxing.
Okay, fine. So what is the difference between int pass and a convert to int edited?
Int.parse
And a converted to int edited.
okay. Int.parse, if you are, it will throw an exception like format expression. And if we come to convert.2 into 32, it will throw a overflow exception or format exception. And int.parse will not allow any null values. Convert.2 into 32 allows null values on depending on the strings we give. Okay, and int.parse errors are not rectified at the compile time since it doesn't make any checks during the compile time. But convert.2 into 32 will throw a compile time errors because it will go it will undergo certain checks.
Okay, what is JIT compiler?
JIT stands for just in time compiler. It is involved in the process of converting the code into machine understandable code. It is present in the CLR.
Okay, what are the main components of the .NET framework?
Sorry, what are the
main components of .NET framework?
There are .NET languages, .NET technologies, base class libraries, and operating system. When it comes to .NET languages, it will allow the different languages to write the code. And .NET technologies, ASP.NET, ADO.NET, MVC, these are the various technologies that are inbuilt in .NET framework. And operating systems. These are operating systems like Linux, Unix, Windows. This .NET frameworks allows the applications to run on various platforms like Linux, Windows, and Unix. And coming to base class library, .NET framework provides various base class libraries in order to develop an application like web application or console application.
Okay, what is the difference between implicit typed variables and dynamic typed variables?
Implicit type and dynamic type. So if we give implicit type variables, we can define the data type. For example, int a is equals to 32. So for the value of a, we need to assign only 32. But when it comes to dynamic type variables, we can change the variable. I mean, we can change the type of the variable depending on the input we have given. For example, dynamic a is equals to 32, and we can change that like dynamic a is equals to Bhargav. Like in the above example, we have given int type, but in the current example, we have given a string type. Depending upon the value, the system will arrange the data type to the dynamic type variables.
Okay, one more thing. In implicitly typed variables, we need to use the var keyword.
Yes, we can use the var keyword.
Var keyword. With the help of var keyword only, the system can identify.
Yes.
Right. So what is CLS?
C.
LS.
Common. CLS. Common language specification, and the language which is supported by the .NET must follow the rules of CLS provided by the .NET.
Okay, what is the difference between Java and C#?
Both follows OOPS concepts, but Java needs separate. Java needs separate softwares to run. Like for example, Java will be using IDE Ellipse, and another one C#, right? So in C# we need to use the Visual Studio application in order to develop the applications. And Java, in order to develop web applications in .NET, in C# we will be using ASP.NET. But in Java, if we need to develop any web applications, we will be using Spring Boot and microservices.
Okay, what is managed code and unmanaged code?
Managed code is compiled by the compiler, and then it is sent to operating system. And when it comes to unmanaged code is directly handled by the operating system, and it will be compiled by operating system itself by not involving any compiler. For example, for unmanaged code is C, C++. Managed code is C#, Python, Java. This all requires compiler to compile the code.
Okay, what is garbage collector and what is its roles?
Garbage collector plays a key role in .NET, and it is one of the main component in the CLR, that is Common Language Runtime. It will allocate the memory depending upon the variable, and if the variable is not used, then it will deallocate the memory, providing the memory management to the application. It plays a key role in storage management also.
Okay, what is the difference between system.string and system.string builder classes?
In system.string classes, if we need to create new instance of a string, then a new object is created. But in string builder class, if we want to create any new string, then reference of the object is created, but not the new object is created. And in string.class, if we want to do concatenation, a new variable is generated. But if we want to concat any string in string builder class, there is no need of any reference, any variable, any object created. We can directly concat the two strings.
Okay, so what is the difference between constant and static and read only?
Constant, static,
and read only.
Static means it can be accessible without, if we declare any method or a variable by using a static keyword, then they can be accessed directly by the class name, or we can access directly if the variable or method is inside the class, inside the same class. Okay, read only and constant. I don't have any idea regarding constant and read only as of now.
Okay, fine. That's great. So what is meant by the constant means when we declare that constant for a variable for a method, so it is the final one. Okay, so the variable we cannot change. When we are declaring the constant keyword for a variable declaration, then again we cannot able to rename it, or again we cannot able to change the values. Okay. Read only means whatever the value we are giving or assigning to a variable or a method, the system it can be read. That is the purpose of the read only.
Okay, could you please give example for those two?
So constant means we need to use the constant keyword, CONST. Okay, and read only means previously right now whenever if we are declaring user inputs method like that, read only. Those all are the read only and constant. Okay, and what is the difference between instance variables and static variables?
Instance and
static variables. What is the difference?
Instance variable. Okay. Instance variables are also called as non-static variables, and non-static variables are they are declared by without using a keyword called static. Static variables are declared by using a keyword called static. Okay, and static variables are accessed by a class name or directly. But no, instance variables are accessed by using an object creation.
Okay, so what are the types of the classes in C Sharp?
There are five types of classes in C Sharp: abstract class, sealed class, partial class, inside class, and abstract class, partial class, sealed class. Sorry, wait a second. Abstract class, sealed class, partial class.
Okay, Bhargav, so what is an array?
An array is a collection of character. Collection is collection of data of the same data type in a continuous manner.
So what are its advantages?
Faster access. We can access the array elements fastly, and memory management, because array is stored in a continuous memory. In a continuous memory, the memory management is quite easy when compared to other data types.
Okay, so what are the control flow statements we have?
There are two types of control statements: branching statements and looping statements. Branching statements are they used to branches. They will.
It's conditional statements.
Okay.
Conditional statements, and another one is switch case statements.
Yes.
Yeah, continue.
Conditional statements, if the condition that we have given is satisfied, then the inside logic will be executed. Like for example, for I is equals to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus, and we inside that we will be writing that console.write line print I. If the I is greater than 11, then the system will come out from that loop.
Okay, means for the conditional statements we are using the if and else.
Else also.
Right. So what is continue and break keyword?
Continue. Continue is used to continue the code, and break is used to break at particular point. For example, if you have given 5 cases, and if the second case is satisfied, then the system will come out from that 5 cases. And if the condition is satisfied and if we are given any continue keyword, then the system will check the second condition. Like that, continue and break works in C Sharp.
Okay, what is the difference between namespace and assembly?
Okay, namespace is a logical entity, whereas assembly is a physical entity. Namespace is a collection of code, whereas assembly is a collection of files that contains codes.
Okay, Bhargav, so that's